All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Brian McLogan, and this is another live stream for Open Live Q&A, where I'm taking your guys' questions. So if you have any questions, feel free just to put them down in the chat, and I will do my best to answer them. Anything math, though, related, you can go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A. And I finally have an update for you guys. I was trying to wonder, I'm like, you know what? I really, really enjoy doing these live streams, and I'm going to keep on doing this on Sunday. I missed last Sunday. I can't remember. Was that when the Lions were playing? Maybe not. I don't remember. I think my questions were getting a little busy at that point. So either way, I like to be able to answer your guys' questions, and I like answering math questions. The problem that I have with my live streams is I used to always like answer questions from the chat, and once I get into math, I don't know. It I like taking your guys' questions, but then I just kind of lose people that are just there to ask like regular questions about the math, about just math in general or whatever else. And then so I always stop like missing those questions, and then the live stream and goes into like 2 hours and stuff like that. So one thing I'm going to try, and follow me with this here, is I am going to now open up another channel for you guys where we can go and directly get into your guys' math content. So if you have not seen that channel, I've just been posting some of the videos actually I've done from these live streams. I started posting on that other channel. And for the first time, I am about to let you guys know where that channel is. So it's actually in the chat. I put it down in the chat. I will put it down in the description as well. So therefore, you guys can go and get to it. And it's just the free math videos at free math videos, I guess 8362. I'll try to clean that up. I think free math videos might have been taken. So I don't know where the 8362 came from. But yeah, if you guys want to go over to that channel, I put in the link. It should be hyperlink. Yeah, it's hyperlink in there. I'm actually going to pin it as well. So therefore, you guys can see that is a pinned message inside of the chat. And again, I'll put it in the description as well. So therefore, those of you that are following along, you can be like, hey, where's this channel? Where's the chat? And I'll make sure it's in the description as well of this live stream. So therefore, you guys can see what I'll be doing is I'll be going live. I'm not sure exactly when, but all of those questions that you guys have been submitting to me, or the questions, the math questions, the one where you have like a picture of the math problem you're working on, that is going to be on that channel. And I will have the live streams, and then also I'll have them um, snippeted up. So therefore, it'll be an individual video as well. So if you just like random math content of me solving problems and everything else, then that free math videos channel is exactly right for you. So that's where they're going to be hosted. And then when you guys have regular, just kind of math questions or something that's not specifically math, a math problem, then you are on the right live stream to go and get that question answered. So you guys can go to that one and check it out. So if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to be able to get some subscribers up on that free math videos. Right now, I'm not connecting it with my main channel at all. I'm just posting a lot of those extra videos. But yeah, I'd like to grow that channel as well as a kind of repository of all the questions you guys may ask me on all of these live streams. I actually literally have all of my live streams saved, and all the videos, all the problems that I've done. I have like, I don't know, over thousands of problems that I've solved, and they're being uploaded. Some of them from 5-6 years ago. I've already went back and I still have. So I'm uploading them now. And then I'm going to start doing a continuously live stream every single week answering those questions. And you guys will see those videos up on there as well. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's get into some of your guys' questions that you guys have. Hey, Goats, 938, sir. Demonsters, Flexi, good to have you on. Hello. Hey, Araf. Doing probability and statistics. I hate it. Me too. I was not a probability and statistics fan as well. What is your favorite geometry topic? This is probably no one you're not going to like or not think of, but I love proofs. I really did. I thought of proofs as like a puzzle. And that's one of the things I just like enjoyed about math was like, I don't know, the solving of puzzles and stuff like that. So yeah, I really like proofs. And most students hate proofs. And I didn't like them as much, but once I got to college and learned how to write proofs, it gave me a new appreciation for the topic. Hey, Ray. Hey, Joy. Let me get to some of these. There we go. Just moving this around. Very happy to help you out. Awesome, Zero. So happy. I'm taking linear algebra with Calc 2 and calc-based physics. Wow, I'm struggling bad in linear algebra. It feels harder than Calc 2. Also failed the first test. Any advice? Yeah, my linear algebra course was difficult than Calc as well. Because I think linear algebra just, it's a completely different thing. You're thinking, oh, I already took Calc 2, like so much is related. But like there's so much more math that you need to like recall on a linear algebra course and where you're kind of going as well. I think I would have a conversation with your professor and just to, I remember when I first started struggling with calculus, that was one thing I did. And, just trying to get some insight, either from them or from, graduate student or something like that. Like, what are some different ways I can approach this class that maybe I'm not doing, right? Maybe I was able to approach calculus one way and I got familiar. And this is something that happens all the time with students. You get familiar with one teacher or how our course is presented, and then you just get in the groove, right? And then you take another course or you take another professor or teacher and they don't teach the same way, or the content's a little bit different and you have to adjust. So if you're not sure how to adjust on your own, seek some advice from somebody that's done well or has taught the course, and see what you're kind of missing or what you can change. And that'd be my advice. Questions. Why am I good at math, but I'm in the bottom of the barrel in my physics course? I don't know. I can relate. I mean, I wasn't good at math or very well at math, but I struggled mightily with physics, because while they're very, very much intertwined and related, I think the way that you're approaching the problems and it is going to be different. And not always are you looking for that applied aspect in a general like mathematics course, especially like a pure mathematics course, right? You're not really always looking at that applied application. Whereas physics, everything is applied. Not everything, but a lot. What you're trying to do in your problems is solving some applied mathematical problem. So yeah, you know what, I don't think necessarily. I thought the same thing. I thought, oh, if I'm good at math, I should be good at physics, and it's just not the case. So I think find what you like, find what you're good at, and find what you really want to do, and lean into that area. I just cracked the JEE by mistake. I marked one wrong answer, and that would prevent me from scoring 90th percentile. Oh, wow. Well, good for you. Still good. Still, keep going. Hey, Abraham, good to have you on. I like the Calgary Flames. The center of symmetry. I've actually never used the center of symmetry, or maybe I have. And center of symmetry. What would you find the center of symmetry? I don't know. Does anybody know on that one? Center of symmetry group. It is a point within a molecule. Or here's some three-dimensional shapes. Oh, maybe it would be a point of symmetry. Gotcha. So that'd be something that would be symmetrical about on a shape or an object. Every point on the opposite side is the same distance from the central point. Okay. I guess it's been a long time since I've done anything with central point. But yeah, so an axis of symmetry is basically if you took a line, that's basically, you can think about it like cutting it in half, right? Everything on one side is going to flop to the other. Like you can like kind of think of it like a book folding over. The center of symmetry, as I'm going to point, is stating that every point on opposite sides is the same distance from a central point. So the picture that they give is like two triangles. And then the center where those two triangles meet is the point of symmetry, because everything on both sides is the exact same distance. Hey, Eddie, love your channel. Well, thank you very much. Kenny, this would be a great question to go and put at brianmclogan.com/Q&A. And then I will make sure that I go ahead and cover it. So I'll make sure I answer that question on my other free math videos YouTube channel. I know, I apologize. I used to love doing the math problems on here, but literally you guys give me so much great content. I love just answering your guys' questions, and I kind of hate stop answering your questions so I can do math work. But I also feel bad because you guys are submitting math questions. I'm like, I got to give you your answers. I want to do your math work you're submitting. So my promise to you is I'm going to do your math work. I will do some problems. I'll solve them for you. It's just going to be on my other channel. So therefore we can keep these live streams not to be like 2 hours long. And for those of you that are here to ask questions, can kind of get a quick response and not wait like an hour of me doing math problems, I can answer your questions and I can speak with you guys and help you guys out from here. So that is, so go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A, submit your question there, and I will get to it. I promise. I literally have like 50 math problems that I have backlogged. And just because you guys have been so great on these live streams answering awesome questions, I don't have time to get to the math and I feel really bad. So I'm going to get to it though. I promise, just on that other channel. And again, that's in the description and linked in the chat. All right. What advice can you give to those struggling? Man, we could make a whole video on this. I think my best advice that I can give to students that are struggling is give yourself time. Don't don't compare yourself to others or how they're all doing. Give yourself time. A lot of times when we are struggling with math, sometimes, it's the content, it's not making sense, but a lot of it is just the time. We need more time. We need more experiences and understanding for things to make sense. And I realize that grades and semesters and, courses don't always operate on that timeline, but don't be harsh on yourself. Give yourself more time or work a little bit harder within your own time frame to make things a little bit easier. But it's okay. Things are going to take longer for some people, and that's totally normal. And it doesn't mean that you can't solve it. Just because you're struggling doesn't mean that you're not capable of it. Keep on working hard and just give yourself time to understand the material. Kenny, another great question. Submit, please. Oh, wow, Kenny. Oh, no, Kenny, don't want to be that person. Come on, Kenny. Kenny. Now I got to go in. Don't be that person. Sorry, Kenny. I don't remember frequency of stats. I'd have to go back to my stat days. Sorry. Is inverse trigonometry really hard? And is it all about the use of formulas to solve them, or something else is also needed? No, I mean, yeah, mostly just going to be using the inverse. I mean, it depends on what you're doing with the inverse trigonometry, but as far as with the graph or evaluating and stuff like that, I'd have to go back and remember the formulas of what you're referring to. But no, I don't think it's too difficult. As long as you have a fair amount good idea of what you're doing with trig and sines and cosines and tangents, then the inverse trig is just another extension of that. I'm so happy your videos exist. I'm in 7th grade doing honors math. Awesome. And I got 100% on my test, which is hard. You're very welcome. That's awesome. Congrats. What is the best way to memorize all of the trig functions? I mean, I always just remember from SOHCAHTOA. So, I mean, that was just the way that I grew up. And I mean, you can like that or not like that. But I always just think of like that, that right triangle, sine, cosine, tangent, opposite over hypotenuse, sine, cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent, opposite or adjacent. And I think if you practice that and you do have enough practice problems with that, you're going to have it pretty well ingrained in your brain. And then when you start working on like the unit circle, you can just place that on the, coordinate grid with the hypotenuse equaling 1, and the sine represents the y coordinate and the cosine represents the x coordinate. But I mean, I like SOHCAHTOA for all those from on there. And I think it just takes practice. I think some people get so dialed in on like memorizing. But I think the basic thing is like, I have a lot of things memorized in my brain. It's not because I was like doing flashcards or trying to memorize things. It's just because I did enough practice. So it was ingrained in my brain. And obviously I was a teacher, so I got a little benefit of that. But I think the same thing, if like, just don't assume you can do your homework and like that should be enough for you. Like sometimes you need to do more and more example problems for it to really be ingrained and for you to really have that confidence that you need to not only remember things, but to be able to do things. I think we a lot of times fall short of the work that we need to do to be capable of being able to recall the information. Well, thank y'all. I'm doing well so far today. Thank you. Jeremy says, how do you know which technique to use when solving limits at infinity? There seems to be so many different techniques. Solving limits at infinity. Well, I would have to look at some different problems. I mean, I usually, yeah, and you're right. It all depends on the type of problem that you have, right? I mean, so what information you are given is going to dictate how you're going to be able to do them. So I guess I can't really, I think it'd be hard, I guess, to just verbalize my answer. If you have some problems, though, you'd like me to submit or kind of talk about, then you go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A, and that'd be a little bit easier for me to elaborate on from on there. I always like to just, I think the main thing is like, if you understand the horizontal asymptote test, that is a very, very useful understanding of the limits at infinity. And while you're not always directly using that or like that understanding, like that comes into play very, very much. So I think you should start there. And then, yeah, maybe give me some individual problems and we can kind of look at it from there. Does your channel accept tips? Well, you can always super chat on the live streams, and you can also give a what is it? I think they do tips. It's not super chat, but a super thanks. Yeah, that's right. You can do a super chat on the live streams, and you can do a super thanks on any of the videos. So I always greatly appreciate anything that you want to do to support my channel and the work that I do. And thank you so much. I've hopefully something that taught me math this year. My math teacher is a football coach. Well, awesome. I know. I'm sure they're football coach. They can be very, very busy. I taught wrestling, and it was one of my craziest years trying to coach and teach, and it was a lot. Well, awesome, Glitch. Hey, Prav, there's a super chat right in there. 199 for a pop. Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. Why are you always yelling at Joshua? I don't know. I guess I had a lot of Joshuas that were not listening in my class. Any advice for college first year? I'm not going to talk about math. Enjoy the experience. Try things that you've never tried before. Don't waste away your time. It's very easy to get caught up in everything and then not be able to return. So take college seriously. Take the classes seriously. Get the work done that needs to get done. But on that same token, on the same flip side of that, have fun, enjoy it, do things you'd never do before. Like what I mean by that is like try things out. It's like have fun and it's an experience. And you're there to like learn about yourself and what you want your life to be. So I think some trial and error is important, but don't lose sight of why you're there and what you're trying to do. Um, I saw a lot of students that took that too far, the trying anything and bitter else, and they never returned to college. So they never returned the next year. They flunked out, didn't take their grade seriously. I don't want that for you. But I do look back on some things in my college and my experiences and stuff. Like met a lot of great people, tried some clubs and stuff like that was completely new to me, and it helped me grow as a human, and it helped me decide what I later wanted to do. And I think also helped me mature and become a better person. So keep that in mind. Awesome, Jada. Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. Hello, Mr. Brian. I'm an AP student and recently started AP Calculus AB. Can you give any advice for calculus? I would appreciate your advice. Practice, 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 practice. I taught AP Calculus AB for a couple years, and those practice tests, I mean, wear them out. All the more, I mean, it's a reality. Obviously, I want you to learn calculus, but we know why you're taking AP Calculus, right? It's more likely to pass the AP exam. The best advice I can give you for passing that is to do as many practice problems as possible. AP Calculus can move fast, and there's a lot to like soak in. But if your teacher's not giving you a ton of practice problems and like reviews, then get them on your own and practice, practice, practice. The more examples that you do, the better prepared you're going to be for that end of the year exam. All right. I'm in honors algebra 2 right now, and we just got our rational functions unit, and I'm having trouble remembering how to factor, especially when combining something like this. Well, you won't need to factor. What you need to do is multiply to get common denominators and then combine them. So you're not going to have to factor on that one. What you're going to have to do is get common denominators and add. If you want to submit that at brianmclogan.com/Q&A, I will be more than happy to go over that with you as well. Yeah, I don't really have any specific tips for linear algebra. I mean, get help from somebody, speak with your professor, look to a graduate student, someone that's already taken that course. Maybe work with a partner or a group to do that course together. I remember struggling with linear algebras as well. It can be a tough course. So, if you're starting to struggle, seek help. Make sure you're getting the help you need. Don't just don't like try to avoid it and give up. We don't want you doing that. You're very welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. And organic chemistry is great videos as well. Do you have any tips on memorizing the unit circle table? Oh my God, no, I would never memorize the unit circle table or a table of the unit circle values. I don't like the left hand or right hand rule or whatever may be the case. I don't think you need to worry about that. You need to know the 4 points on the unit circle at the intercepts, right? At the 1, 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 0, 0, negative 1, and then know the first quadrant. If you know those angles, pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3, and you know those points on your circle, everything else is just a variation of those. So those would be the points I would say make sure you remember, and then make sure you know how to plot any other angle to find the quarter points using reference angles and coterminal angles, and you'll be good. Is it good idea to take AP stats over the summer? I'm not a big fan of taking an. I didn't even know you could take an AP class over the summer. I'm just not a big fan of taking math classes over the summer unless you really, really have to, or you really, really want to or need to. It's just, I don't know. It's condensed and it's fast paced and it's not right for a lot of students. AP classes are already difficult courses because of the pace that they go. So to take one over the summer where it's even going to be faster and more, I don't know. That unless there's a really, really strong purpose for you taking it to get certain requirements or needs, I just don't think it's right for a majority of students. So it'd be hard for me to, I wouldn't tell you yes or no anyways, because I don't know enough about you or what you're trying to achieve, but I would just make sure you speak with your teacher, your counselor, and your parents to make sure it's the right fit for you. Overall, I don't like it for a lot of students, but that's not to say that it couldn't be right for you. Yes, I not a lot, but I probably have like 5 or 10 on there. So they're in my derivative playlist, or actually probably limit playlist on my channel. I mean, do you have a suggestion? I mean, I have some vector videos. I'm not really sure what suggestion I can provide to you. I mean, start with the basics and then work your way up, right? But just don't try to move so fast until you get it. Like, go back to the basics. And once you feel like you have that covered, then expand from there. Yeah, I do have. I actually, if you go on, I actually have some old courses on there that are still around from some of my older videos that I did that I patched together. So yeah, I actually have like 15 or 20 of them, but I do want to make actually some newer courses, and that's actually something I am coming up and creating. So you will see some more of that. Provide advice. Yeah, I mean, I think I already talked about with this on there. I would just, um, just do those practice problems, as many practice problems as you possibly can. Make sure you're doing all the work. Just don't feel like you understand something, ready to move on. It's a fast-paced course, so make sure you're doing the necessary work as well. Is your 2-hour pre-calculus video enough to start a calculus class? If you're doing the work, like, what do you mean? Like, you're just going to watch my video and then like say you're good on pre-calculus information? Maybe. I mean, I had students that could show up to my class and didn't really need to pay attention and can do all my work, right? But I think for majority of students to take pre-calculus, be prepared for calculus, it requires doing work. The pre-calculus video is, yes, me covering a whole bunch of material, but I think you get the most benefit of doing the work. So I would recommend doing more than 2 hours worth of work to prepare for calculus. But again, everybody is a little bit different from in there, but I don't think 2 hours would be a great supplement for majority of people. Not to say you don't know enough about you, but I would probably plan on doing a lot more than that as far as just reviewing and practicing to be prepared for calculus from pre-calculus information. But again, that's all relative to how strong you are in your math. Like, 20 hours could be condensed to, 5 or 10 if you're feeling, if it's a lot of stuff is either review or stuff that you already know. No, sorry, it's been way too long since I did calculus. I'd have to go back and review. So I wouldn't give you, it'd be a while before I was able to give you a quality explanation. So sorry, not at least on this live stream. Just started graphing, just started trig. We've been graphing sine and cosine. We are doing y equals a times sine of b right now, but does the way you graph it change when you have a vertical and horizontal shifts? Yeah. But yeah, that's only going to be shifting left and right. Right now, yeah, your B is going to be adjusting it horizontal stretch or compression, and A is going to be your vertical stretch or compression. And yes, it does. It's going to affect the period. Your horizontal, well, not shift, but B is going to affect your stretch and compression, which does impact your period as well as your horizontal shift. Kira, best thing to do would put it into brianmclogan.com/Q&A, and then I can spend more time actually looking at it in the math world and give you an answer. Maybe one or two, but I don't think, I mean, it's been a long time ago since I had one in that. Is the candidate's test the best way to find the absolute extrema on a closed interval? I think there's a couple different ways we can explain or go about that. My initial opinion would say technically, I mean, I think it all depends on the definitions that you're going to follow, because if you're going on a closed interval, you're I would say it's on an open interval for, again, based on the definition that I would go with an extrema, is that points to the left and to the right are going to be the below, or points to the left and to the right are going to be above that extrema. So therefore, if you don't have any points to one side, it's not considered technically an extrema based on that definition. And that was the definition that I used. So I would say it'd be on an open interval, but I know it all depends on the definition that's being used. And you will see textbooks that will vary on that from an open to a closed. But I'm sure somebody that's mathematically, I mean, it's been like 4 years since I was going over that. So I might not fully remember that perfectly. But that's what I would say at this point for that. I wish I could do it. I used to do a lot of math problems on here. I just don't have time. It's been way too long. As you could see when I was talking about absolute extreme, it's been way too long since I did calculus topics. So I got to brush myself back up to get myself into there so I can answer questions like that live on these live streams. But I will say, on the free math videos live streams that is in the chat, which is pinned, I will be doing some live problems as well for you guys. How do you recommend revising? I'm not sure what that means. Yes, practice, practice, practice. I think the more problems you practice problems, the better and easier it is to remember them. So, and do not only just practice, 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 but spiral review. Just don't practice, learn something, and then move on to the next thing. Like, come back to it, go back to it. Every week, every month, like, go back and review older problems that you did. Keep it fresh in your brain. That will help you not forget the stuff. So, great question. On or pinned inside the chat, I have my new math channel. It's actually been around for a while, but I am going to take the math questions that you guys submit at brianmclogan.com/Q&A, and I am going to post those questions on a live stream over there. So you guys will know when I go live, and you guys can go and see me actually answering questions on there. And then if you join on those live streams, you can also ask questions, and I will try to do as many questions as I can on the live streams. The reason I started this live stream speaking about that, it's just too hard. I love answering the questions as you guys come on to these live streams, and like the questions that I can answer just like yours without doing actual math work. And I feel bad because once I start doing math questions, anywhere from like 10 to 20, I'm not able to answer the questions that come into the chat. And a lot of people don't care what math question somebody is asking. Like, they only care about their problem. So, I want to make sure I can get all the questions that are answered that are on this chat. And I want to make sure that people can get their math questions that they submit to me answered as well. So therefore, what I devised is, hey, you know what? I will do just general, as you mentioned, math advice questions, but then also I'll still do those math questions. I'll just do it on a different live stream on a different channel. So it's a little bit easier for you guys to be able to focus in on math questions over there, and therefore you can find it, and then also will be chopped up into individual videos as well. What's the best way effectively studying and using your notes to build long-term memory? I think spiral review is the best thing you can do, right? Spiral review basically just means once you've learned something, don't just throw it away, come back to it. So, every week, you should be going back through your older notes and finding stuff that you previously learned and reviewing it and going over again. Keep that information fresh, because if you're not immersed in this information and practicing, it's really easy to forget the stuff. So definitely spiral review. Constantly be doing problems that you did in chapter 1, chapter 2, even by the end of the year. Constantly be going over, reviewing those things. That I feel is the best way to be able to bring long-term memory. Awesome. Happy to help. Submit at brianmclogan.com/Q&A. I'm done with my A-levels. I'm moving to the U.S. in November. Should I take some AP courses or prepare of units? I don't know. Speak with your parents, counselor, and teacher. I think they're going to be the best for you. Any recommendation for a student taking pre-calculus with trig? Any fundamental concepts that will be useful for calculus in college besides the unit circle? I mean, I think just trig and rational expressions and polynomials, if you have like those basics of those like algebra and the trigonometry, I think you'll be fine from on there. But make sure you have a good, solid foundation with that stuff. Unit circle, actually submit it. I have a great video I can show you on that where you can get it really, really quickly. So, but if you push it to brianmclogan.com/Q&A, I'll be more than happy to cover it. To be honest with you, I actually just enjoy having a bald head. I've paid for 2 haircuts in the last 20 years. And I've paid for 2 haircuts last 20 years. I don't pay for shampoo or like hair products or anything like that. I do get sunburned though very easily, so I have to wear a hat. That's the thing that sucks. Hey, that's awesome. I love this. Due to overconfidence. I did the same thing. I took Calc 2 in physics and I had to fail, and I failed physics just because I was overconfident. I thought I could like do both. I couldn't. So, you'll be fine. I think if you can just focus on doing better and learn up, I have full confidence that you're going to be able to do what you need to do to be successful in that course. So just put in the work, or don't be overconfident again. Put in the work, get the work done, and give it your focus, and I think you'll do perfectly fine. Small government was actually my favorite course I took. It was the first class I took in political science, which ended up being my minor. And I don't know what it was about the course. I just loved it. It was like small government affairs or something like that. It was like city governments and like local politics. Really, really weird course. Never thought it'd be something I'd be interested in, but I loved it. No, sorry, I never taught it. Hey Gabe, awesome. Well, wow, man, you've been on my live streams a lot, so I'm happy to hear that you're about to graduate. Best of luck. Awesome, Brittany. So happy to help you out. It's really hard for me to give advice from there. I would just speak with your teacher. Speak with your teacher, counselor, and your parents to see if that's what you need and what you should be doing. To me, I don't think you need to rush things. But again, based on what you're trying to achieve and what you're doing, that may be something in. But it's not a race. And I don't if you start to feel like you're going too fast, whatever else, that might be something to slow down. But if that's what you're aiming for, then hey, it might be the right place for you. To be honest, concussion or no concussion, that topic confuses a lot of people. I do have quite a bit of videos, and one that I just went over not too long ago that might help out, but it's okay. Give yourself time. It might just take yourself time, and it's not because of the concussion. Trust me. That topic can be confusing. So give yourself some time, keep on, don't give up on it. But I'm happy to hear that you're okay. And but yeah, it's confusing. But again, it's not the end of the world. It's not the biggest topic that like have to do. It's a problem. It's a part of, it's a subset of a larger things problem. So give it some time, keep on revisiting, and you got this. No idea. Well, awesome, George. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. What got you into math? No, I didn't really like studying. I wanted to become a teacher, and math was, to be honest, the best subject I was out of all the other courses I could have taken math on. So kind of just chose it by default. Hey, LA, what is an effective way to study for math? I can't always focus straight though. Find a place that you can study and that you can focus. Um, redo problems from your test, your quizzes, your study guides, whatever, and create a cheat sheet. Take all those problems that you struggled on or that you know that are the most important formulas and definitions, and put them all on one sheet of paper and consistently, constantly be reviewing that like every single day. And do practice problems. Do the practice problems from your previous tests, but then also ones that are from study guides or anything else online to help you get there. I study mathematics in Arabic, so I struggle a little in translating your videos into Arabic so that I can understand. But your wonderful explanation of mathematics is worse than suffering. I have, I have some. I also have a translated video that's going to be coming out. It's not in Arabic though, but I do have some things coming down the pipeline for you. So hopefully that will help you out. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to end this live stream on with that. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.